நியூஸ் 7 தமிழ் நேயர்களுக்கு வணக்கம். குவியம் நிகழ்ச்சிக்கு உங்களை வரவேற்பது உமா மகேஸ்வரன். இந்த வாரம் குவியம் நிகழ்ச்சிக்கு ஒரு எமினன்ட் பர்சனாலிட்டியை நம்ம இன்டர்வியூ பண்ண போகிறோம். மொழி உரிமைகளுக்காக தொடர்ந்து ஆன்லைன்லையும் பல்வேறு இயக்க செயல்பாடு கள செயல்பாட்டிலையும் சிறப்பாக முன்னெடுப்புகளை எடுத்து வரும் முனைவர் கோர்கோ சாட்டர்ஜி அவர்களை இந்த வாட்டி நம்ம சந்திக்க இருக்கிறோம். வணக்கம்.
Namaskar.
Gorgo, nice meeting you here. Could you just elaborate what brings you here at this point of time to Tamil Nadu?
So this is a very important time in Tamil Nadu when various issues by which Tamil Nadu has been essentially betrayed by Delhi are bubbling up to the surface at a mass level. The NEET issue was there, the Kaveri issue is here, okay, and the Jallikat issue sort of was a prelude to this, and there's issue after issue. Now there's the Sterlite issue is coming up. So at many places we see that this Delhi does not think that rights of Tamils matter. So I came for number one to speak at a conclave on NEET and federalism, to express my solidarity and my solidarity of the Bengali people to this just cause, because we are also similarly affected by NEET. In fact, all non-Hindi states are affected by NEET, you should know. And secondly, I have my first book of essays coming up. You'll be happy to know, and your viewers will be happy to know, that it's in Tamil. And it's called Your Empire and My People. And I will also, the book has been launched at the Chennai Book Fair itself. But this time there will also be an introduction and discussion event around the book. So majorly these two events. And thirdly, it was arranged that I meet Dr. Kalainar.
You met him already?
I met him already, yes. And I sought his blessings and I presented him with a copy of my book.
One intriguing question I have is that why choose Arinyar Anna at the first place? I know that you have an ardent liking towards the Dravidian ideology. Despite being a Bengali, you have a close following on the Dravidian ideologies. When we speak about the Dravidian ideology, we have this trinity: Periyar, Anna, and Kalainar. So, what makes you choose Anna as the forerunner or the forefront of your topics at the first place?
So, let me first say, it is not Dravidian ideology per se, because I am not a Dravidian myself, I am a Bengali. Having said that, what Dravidian ideology provides is a very important roadmap, okay, for self-respect and also self-governance in this system which is dominated by Hindi, Hindu, Hindustan imperial system, okay. So it's an important roadmap which lays out that, you know, land, language, self-respect, social justice and development of all national bourgeoisie, all of these together form not only a welfare system for the people, a system of emancipation for the people, but also a wall of resistance against Hindi, Hindu, Hindustan forces, right? So that is what attracts me, because it's a direct implementation. Many people can talk about many things, but it's a direct implementation of these ideas. So, and I will be a little controversial here. So you talked about Periyar, Kalainar and Anna, okay, and I of course put Anna at a higher pedestal than the other two characters here, okay. Periyar was in a way a preacher, okay. Well, Anna was the doer. Anna did it. And Kalainar kind of took it, he passed the baton in a way, right? But you can say Periyar was the person who is like the physio coach of an athlete. And Anna made the first dash. And when Anna made the first dash and all the anti-Dravidian forces in Tamil Nadu and the anti-Tamil forces in the Indian Union lost out to the 1965 anti-Hindi movement, after that, unfortunately, when Anna died, the baton was passed on. But the basic battle had been won. that you cannot be anti-Tamil, you cannot be a Delhi Dalal and rule in Tamil Nadu. Okay, that basic idea. So even if you internally were making deals, at least on outside, you had to appear in a certain way. That was not true before that.
But still, when you are saying that Anna was the first person who broke the clutches, we still have Periyar, like, who was actively participating in the political upfronts, upheavals going on, and he was actually also part of the political system that pre-existed before independence. So,
So any
is it not? Is it not? Let me be very, very, very blunt here. Is it not a clear sidelining of Periyar when comparing with Anna?
No. See, Periyar is setting the ground. There is no Anna without Periyar. Having said that, Periyar's decision to stay away from elections, that we do not seek power after the transfer of power of 1947, is a very crucial decision. And that's when Anna and his Thambis thought, well, that actual holding of power is the path to mass emancipation. It is undeniable that Periyar himself was probably the former of the ideology and its various contours, and he created these disciples, right? Because Anna and his Thambis, after all, are Periyar's disciples mostly. But having said that, when you put it into mass practice, when we say mass practice, we mean post 1947 electoral practice, where everybody is voting. Remember, pre-47, when the Justice Party time, it was limited electorate. Very few people voted.
Precisely.
Right? So mass politics, raising funds, and hobnobbing with power, with money, and all of these things which Periyar kind of abhorred. Right? But if you need to clean up a dirty pond, you actually need to put your feet inside the pond. Okay? Anna took that plunge.
Do you think you have anything that West Bengal can superimpose from the ideologies of Tamil Nadu, like the movement against Hindi impositions, the united voices against the suppression of state rights? Do you think Bengal has anything to take from Tamil Nadu at the first place?
Bengal, of course, has to be inspired by Tamil Nadu. So, because we have been ruled by Delhi headquartered parties from 1947 to 2011, okay, which means that Bengal's own voices and Bengal's own question of its own rights have been suppressed. 2011 was a momentous event. For the first time, a Bengal-based party came to power in West Bengal. It's a historic event for West Bengal. Historic. It has never happened. Okay. So now is the time to start certain dialogues which had been long suppressed by Delhi parties in West Bengal.
Is it not in lines with the Bhumiputra ideology? Like
not necessarily Bhumiputra. Indian Union, West Bengal is a linguistic state formed by the State Reorganization Commission on a linguistic basis. You do not have to be Bhumiputra. Okay. You can come into this Bhumi and become its Putra also.
Okay.
Right? As long as you adopt to the culture and language of the people. It's very simple. So that is there. But also, it's not only a question of language. Yes, so there is Hindi imposition in West Bengal. You would be amazed to know that the first metro in India was in Kolkata. And the metro card till now did not have Bangla in it. It had Hindi and English. Till now. Okay. So I belong to an organization called Bangla Pokho, which kind of did the movement, and now Rajya Sabha MP Ritobroto Banerjee took it up, and now Piyush Goyal has kind of decided, okay, now because they are trying to give little language crumbs in Karnataka and here because they know that this is really hurting them, right? Because they are a party of Hindi imposition ideology. They are a Hindi supreme. It's a fascist party. Every fascist party has a one language, one nation.
Sorry to cut short you, but is it not clear stereotyping when you say that it is only the BJP who has been doing this? Because earlier, even in the 60s and in the early 70s, it was actually the Congress which the DMK and the other state parties were fighting against the suppression of state rights and the imposition of Hindi. But
true.
When you are saying that
one has to look at the BJP not as a party but as a social political phenomena.
But it's clearly a political party right now.
It's the name of a, it's the umbrella name for a social political tendency. At that point of time, this whole tendency was within the Congress. So the Congress held within itself, especially from the cow belt, this whole tendency, which later thought that they are independent enough to make its own bid for power, right? If you look at the Constituent Assembly debates, you have basically communal racist members belonging to the Congress from the United Province, etc., right? Which
So you treat both at the tandem then,
Congress
when it comes to state rights.
historically in continuity, yes, okay. Or let me put it like this: Congress would do it as a matter of convenience because it had to win North Indian votes.
Okay.
Okay. BJP does it as a matter of deep ideology. But the problem is, for victim people like us, it doesn't matter whether you do it for convenience or ideology. We are affected anyways.
End of the day.
End of the day. For example, the whole centralized constitution that has been given to us, is through Congress only, and BJP is furthering it. The whole NEET issue that you have today and that we have today,
Yes.
is because Indira Gandhi moved education from state to concurrent
Central.
list,
Yes.
right? It otherwise would not have appeared. Anita died because of what Indira Gandhi did in emergency. So no doubt about it. Just to continue the earlier issue, yes, it's a language question, but also West Bengal also is now raising the state autonomy or federalism issues very strongly. In fact, West Bengal's Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee last year said, railways, external affairs, external defense, and currency, these are the only 4 departments that should be with the center, nothing else. Never from a West Bengal Chief Minister has a pronouncement this clear that has come. Also look at when she is talking about India-wide front against BJP in 2019. What is she calling it? She's calling it the Federal Front. She's not calling it Democratic Front, she's calling it National Front. All these various names are there, right? Often they do not mean anything, right? The NDA is neither national, neither democratic, because, it's not national, it's Hindi belt, and democratic, of course, it's not, right? So, but she is choosing the word federal. It has very deep implications. I think this is the time for federalist forces in the Indian Union to seriously join up. 2019 will be a serious battle. It will decide whether India continues as a constitutional republic, whether 2019 will be the last free election, okay, whether I will be freely able to speak what I am able to speak, whether your profession will mean anything or not. 2019 will decide many such things.
Okay, let me put forth a scenario here. There are some tensions in Syria. There are some tensions in the Asia Pacific region, citing that there might be an incitation of a World War III. So every nation is gearing itself up. Like if at all a turmoil arises, it has to be prepared. So in a scenario like this, do you think the voices of state autonomy, separate powers for state, will actually be a hindrance to the unity that a nation has to present itself to other nations of the world? Wouldn't that be a hindrance in the larger perspective of India's mightiness that is being showcased to the other countries?
The might of a country is in the welfare of its people.
Do you think people are not well here?
No. We are a poor country, we are a hungry country, we are an unhealthy country. I've been unhealthy not due to obesity, but unhealthy due to lack of health. We are a country with the largest amount of hunger, largest amount of child trafficking. We are a country where prosperous people who work hard are looted and other people are subsidized. I mean states, okay, you need the 14th and the 15th Finance Commission. Of course, it's a terrible scenario. Only when you make linguistic states prosper that they develop. It's as simple as that. It has been proven all over the world.
But
India is no exception which has come from Vedic times, India, after all, belongs to this world, right? India does not belong to some kind of mythical world. Having said that, what Mamata Banerjee has said, and what all federalist parties and leaders have said. External defense will be in union list. So this whole bogey that is being created, okay. In fact, the question is, I should turn the question on its head. Federal structure is part of the basic structure of the constitution.
Precisely, yes.
Right?
Yes.
If federal structure is part of the basic structure of the constitution, and people who demand a true federal structure are basically constitutionalists, and
Yes.
people who oppose a strong federal structure
They
are basically anti-constitution.
But the thing is, like, people who demand for state autonomy, in a general perspective, they don't seem to be too much patriotic about India. At least that's the allegation that the opposition of your ideology keeps on you. So when you are saying that a state has to be empowered with state autonomy and federalistic ideologies, it doesn't adhere too much to the Indian national idealistic principles. So the next thing they're going to ask is for a separate nation. How is that going to contribute in a larger scale for the unity of India?
First of all, we are Indian Union citizens. The constitution that binds us is our common ideology. Beyond that, if anybody is saying do this, do that, jump here, jump that, stand on that tree, etc., okay, they are being extra constitutional, right? Constitution is the only thing that connects you and me, right?
Precisely.
Number one. Secondly, it does not matter to us people, us native people of West Bengal or us native people of Tamil Nadu, what Delhi media thinks. Okay? Of course, you will have some certain kinds of Delhi agent media in Tamil Nadu and West Bengal. They will always think. Think about it. How is their ideology? Why is their ideology? The kind of lobbies in Tamil Nadu work, you know, the present day Cho Ramaswamis, why is their ideology so out of sync with the ideology of the people? Then who is anti-people here? Remember, in the Indian Union, ideas are not sovereign, okay? Only the people are sovereign. So if we are equal citizens of the Indian Union, we must have equal rights. We are simply saying one thing, let's say the language question. What a Hindi person has rights in UP, a Tamil person in Tamil Nadu should have the same rights. A Bengali person in West Bengal should have the same rights.
Don't you think they have?
So if we are talking about that thing, and if somebody has a problem with it, it means that they believe that the Hindi person in UP is some kind of a superior human being than the Bengali person in West Bengal or Tamil person in Tamil Nadu. They are racists. That means they are imperialists and racists. Imperialism and racism are not compatible with democracy and republicanism. And if they tell you that you are anti-national or anti-whatever, you know, racists and imperialists have no business lecturing us patriots, us constitutionalists, us federalists to lecture on things like what keeps India united. It is the people who stand for federal structure are the people who are keeping India united. And people who impose language, people who are imperialists and racists have always divided states. For example, you see the example of Pakistan.
So you should clearly now brush aside the ideas of a separate nation, which will be the successor.
See, this whole issue is a bogey of Delhi. It's a bogey of Delhi to take away from the legitimate questions that are being asked and the legitimate rights questions. Who has asked this? Which mainstream force has asked this?
Who do you think they should ask? Like, who do you think should ask these questions? Like, if they are very happy with the Indian Union, like, do you think these questions are pertinent enough to answer?
Which questions are you talking
like
about?
Why the state rights are being crushed? Like, if no state rights is being crushed.
Of course, state rights are being crushed, but the point is that if they are creating this bogey of separatism, which no mainstream party or no sane person actually believes in. Okay, for example, I don't believe in it. If you're talking to me directly, so but by using it's a useful way of branding. It's a useful way of branding, right? Because Delhi creates these minefields. Anybody who wants to take away power from this imperial gang that is sitting in Delhi, getting all the tenders, getting all the jobs, getting all the money with their kind of crony capitalists and everything. So what we are saying is a threat to their children and grandchildren also, because their lives have been set by now. Okay. So that way they want to ward off this problem. That's why.
How do you tackle this allegation which is being constantly impinged on you guys? Like whenever you in the sense like language right activist, people who speak for federalism, people who speak for state autonomy, are raising their voices, there is always a constant criticism from the other side. They say that forces outside India, say Russia, USA, Mossad, CIA, blah blah blah, they are actually funding you to create calamity in India. How do you tackle that kind of allegations that is placed against you? Do you stand by it? Is there any iota
Funding.
of truth in that, or do you deny it totally?
These guys have their NIA and CBI and whatever, BIIA, ABCD, whatever they have. So they should get these documents out. They should get these documents out. You know. See, for example, you cannot fool people all the time. And who are these opposition? Who in West Bengal can be anti-Bengali? Who in Tamil Nadu can be anti-Tamil? If they are anti-Tamil in Tamil Nadu and anti-Bengali in West Bengal, I do not think they deserve any kind of response vis-a-vis the politics of Tamil Nadu or West Bengal. They are nobodies.
I have to ask this question to you regarding Jallikattu. You are like actually in a mood of euphoria during the Jallikattu time. I've seen some of your articles and I read across some of your pieces in social media as well. Do you think like a protest that started without any leader has made a significant impact in the north of India? Has it created any ripples?
Why does it have to, Tamil internal affairs have to create any ripple in Hindi belt? More importantly,
Not only in Hindi, but I'm asking in
anywhere.
general.
Why does it have to create? And secondly, why should a West Bengali or a Hindustani person have any right to say how Tamil should do their own things? Why should it create these ripples?
No, I'm asking,
Tamils
has
are
it inspired? Has it inspired? Like, has it made any impact? Like,
It
has
is
it been watched?
clearly, I do not know in Hindustan, but in West Bengal, certain people have clearly understood that standing up for your own is very important. Standing up for your own unitedly, standing up for your own culture and rights and homeland rights are extremely important. And it also has shown that how intransigent, how imperialistic Delhi can be through its various welfare under the name of animal welfare and everything, that they can simply destroy what it means to be Tamil or what it means to be Bengali under the name of what Delhi thinks is welfare and good and everything. Okay, we reject such ideas of good and bad. Delhi should concentrate on unionist matters and should get its job done. It has been entrusted by the people of the Indian Union for doing that, not to poke into West Bengal, not to poke into Tamil Nadu and its sentiments and its rights.
Don't you think speaking for animal rights is in line with Gaurakshaks? Don't you think people who speak for animal rights, animals are being victimized, or so and so, is in line with the Gaurakshaks?
It is part of that question, okay, because of all the animals that are affected in various ways through practices, they of course had to catch the bull. Having said that, it is not that people outside Tamil Nadu have a greater sense of what is good for animals than Tamils themselves. Tamils are not some inferior race of savages. Okay, so when people say that Tamils are going crazy, you must have heard this in Delhi media. It again said it kind of reflects a racist attitude. Delhi media is a racist media. It's an imperialist media. So their narratives, look how it has affected us. That we are discussing about Delhi media narratives. They don't discuss Tamil narratives in Delhi. They don't discuss Bengali narratives in Delhi. Why should we discuss their narratives in our studios? We should have our own narratives. As N.T. Ramarao said, Delhi does not own an inch of land. So why should it own an inch of our mental land also?
That's a stark statement. And the other thing is, other thing I want to ask you is, assuming the fact like every state in India becomes autonomous, at least like the linguistic states, they have complete control over what they decide inside. Won't it create more rift between the states? For instance, like if Karnataka is there and Tamil Nadu is in the other side, won't it create too much rifts and tussles between two states in water sharing issues? Don't you think both states are at a safe zone when it is under single umbrella? Either under BJP or either under Congress. Is it not the fact, or
No,
do you deny it?
completely opposite actually.
How will you substantiate
For
the same?
example, if all states are say under, so what you are basically suggesting is a formula for single party rule all over the Indian Union. That would be the happiest scenario. No other opposition party, every state being ruled by one party. Okay, forever. And they lived happily ever after. We know that people do not live happily ever after in such scenarios because resources are finite. Because resources are finite, if you have an opposition party, at least with any Delhi party or any other party which has some interest in the state, will want to give something. Okay. Finally, we want to do away with this business of giving. Okay. Why should Tamil Nadu give Delhi so that it can give to Bihar? Why should West Bengal give to Delhi so that it can give to UP? Why? What wrong did our people do? What huge wrong that they were. So, for example, recently, the Delhi Metro's one phase was opened. Okay. Some phase was opened. You are looking at Chennai Metro. Look at Delhi Metro. It's so advanced. Tamil people go there and they look at it like that. Okay. And there was a big issue that Delhi Chief Minister from Aurobindo Kejriwal, he was not called for the inauguration. So there was a big issue. So I said that that's not the big issue. The question is why the Chief Minister of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu were not called. They funded this thing. They should have been there. They paid for this. Delhi did not pay for this. Haryana, UP did not pay for this. Tamil Nadu and Karnataka paid for this. They should have been there.
I was just trying to ask, if the states become too autonomous, won't the largest states will be suppressing?
How do you suppress? They have their army or what? What do you mean suppress?
Don't you think Tamil Nadu is now being suppressed in terms of water distribution?
Yes. So, of course, with
how would empowering both states to state autonomy will solve that specific issue?
So, of course, you have to develop mechanisms.
What sort of
mechanism? Whole kind of question of federalism and devolution of power means that you will have to develop reasons for it. But at this point of time, if you have a certain issue, okay, that cannot be the reason that you basically do not devolve power. So, for example, Tista River, India and Bangladesh have a dispute.
Yes.
Okay. Indus River,
India-Pakistan
had a dispute, right? Now, that's two examples are very important. Indus Treaty has been made. If Indus Treaty can be made between two sovereign states, I am sure a kind of understanding can be achieved under two constituent states of the Indian Union. Okay? It's not as if, uncivilized people live here, mad people live here. The fact that states cannot do this, native people cannot do this, is a continuation of a British imperial ideology who always says, don't give power to the natives. They will bungle up everything. So you need the white man. Now you need the Delhi man. That's what Delhi wants to tell you. You don't need the Delhi man. Tamils are good enough for Tamil Nadu.
There has been a trend after Tripura elections. There has been a clear notion that the left has been in the losing side. Leave aside Kerala, the other states in India, we see a picture that the left are clearly losing. Do you think that this will add more wood to the wound? The voices against the single united suppression or the single one nation, one theory would be suppressed.
See, leftists, especially in 80s, when Ashok Mitra was there.
Okay.
Okay, and Ashok Mitra is still here. He is a stalwart of Bengali society. But left was extremely leading in the fight for federalism. Okay, extremely leading. And then something happened in the mid-80s when they sort of gave that idea up. Right? When the left first came in 1977 in West Bengal, you should remember its stance on federalism was extremely strong.
Jyoti Basu.
Okay, yes. First, but within Jyoti Basu's tenure itself, it got diluted. Okay. When the worst came for the same, that we do not need IAS, IPS. We can run West Bengal Civil Service, West Bengal Police Service can run the state.
Was that in connection with the Raja Mannar Commission?
Not necessarily. It was their own agenda.
Okay.
Okay. Right? Because you do not need, Delhi deputed people. Right? Okay. Otherwise you have some idea that, your own people are more corrupt. People they send from outside are better. Your own people are incompetent. People they send from outside are better. Where do they get these ideas? These ideas are all British imperial ideas. Think about it. Where have you heard this before? You know, you've heard this before 1947 before. I thought we got independence in 1947, right? So left, of course, has seen a decline, especially in its federalist agenda, and now I think it is picking up again. So in Kerala, it is having a strong federalist position. Okay. In Tamil Nadu, for example, Sitaram Yechuri came for the Tamil Rights Conference,
Yeah.
right? But it cannot be this thing here and this thing there. The left has to come out strongly for federalism. The left has to realize that 2019 will be a very important fight, and federalism will be a very important component of that fight. It cannot have its petty questions on what it thinks about the Trinamool or what it thinks about this party or that party as its guiding principle. Its guiding principle should be the defense of the Constitution of India. Okay? That is the only guiding united principle. And in any case, the left has become so irrelevant in West Bengal now, and it's very dangerous for West Bengal, because at the end of the day, the BJP in West Bengal is an external party, funded by external money and some local agents, right? So the left, at least, is not an external party in West Bengal. It's a part of fabric of Bengali society. It's part of Bengali society.
Have you met any left leaders in Tamil Nadu?
Yes, but I did not meet them personally. But yes, on the stage. And let me tell you, but left leaders of West Bengal should learn the language, and I do not mean Tamil, but the content, okay, that left leaders in Tamil Nadu have learned to speak on federalism issues. For example, the SFI unit in West Bengal must be something like 50 times larger than the SFI unit in Tamil Nadu. There wasn't a single protest by the SFI in West Bengal on NEET. While West Bengal students really lost out, Bangla medium students, West Bengal board students really lost out during NEET.
So you give the extra brownie points to the SFI in Tamil Nadu?
I give extra brownie points to the people of Tamil Nadu who have made the SFI of Tamil Nadu like this.
Why do you have to meet a person like Kalaignar Karunanidhi, whereas when you have stark critics mentioning that he had left out the ideals of state autonomy, the only salvation for Tamil Nadu is a separate nation, when he is being sidelined and he is being vehemently condemned by Tamil nationalists, why is that you have to meet him in person to seek his blessings? Is it going to trigger more aggression from the Tamil nationalistic sides? I clearly see that you have friends among both sides. Wouldn't that be a factor that would bifurcate yourself from them?
First of all, let me say that I think that the demand for sovereign Tamil nation is absurd. Okay. Having said that, what we are talking about, as I clearly pointed out, that the center should have own business in only such things where coordination between states is required.
Okay.
Right? It's a very basic, normal sort of logical.
State within a state.
It's a logical principle, right? If railways goes from one state to another state, both things have to talk.
Exactly.
Okay. External defense cannot be business of one state.
Precisely.
Okay. External affairs cannot be business of one state, right? It's very clearly. So we need Delhi or union government as a round table of states.
Okay.
Okay. Having said that, one has to take a long view of history.
Okay.
A long view of the past. Anna and his Thambis, among whom Kalaignar was preeminent, did the anti-Hindi imposition movement, for which you and I are speaking in English, for which in the starting 80s the technical institutes in Tamil Nadu came up, for which people went abroad, people made technological advances here, for which revenues went, for which Tamil women live longer, Tamil men live longer, Tamil people have a better quality of life. You have to look at the kind of knock-on effects of everything. It is not only a question of federalism, nationalism, etc. It's very important, but we have to realize what does that mean in real life.
Okay.
Why federalism is a way to a goal. Federalism is not a goal. Federalism is a device for people's welfare. Okay. And in some measure that has been delivered by forces or by processes which were triggered. And Kalaignar, in a way, with all his critiques, with all his criticisms and all his kind of limitations, is a living embodiment of a very different vision of what the Indian Union can be. And when I say what the Indian Union can be, I do not mean anything unconstitutional. What I mean is, since the Indian Constitution is amendable, except the basic structure,
Yeah.
okay, so when you have the Indian Constitution, it is not only what you see, it's a living document. What does a living document mean? It means that what it can be changed into legally is also part of the possibility of the Indian Constitution.
That's the beauty of it, precisely.
Yes, right? Which is why I disagree with the kind of more extreme views. Okay, while having said that, also people have to realize what are these extreme views expressions of. They're expressions of a real discontent which can be solved within the Indian Constitution. So let's work for that. And which is why Kalainar remains this inspiration of having real change done within the confines of the Indian Constitution for the benefit of the people. It is not that he went and did everything, okay? But you have to look at the processes without which we would be Hindi slaves today. Not only Kalainar, Anna and all his Thambis taken together would be Hindi slaves today, as simple as that. We are now second class citizens in the Hindustan Republic. We would have been third class slaves. There would not be any shirt pant speaking English speaking Tamil man sitting here, neither a corresponding Bengali man. We would be comparing our Hindi accent and saying we are not good enough.
Since that you are very much active in social media, it has been a recent trend that the Marxist, the Dravidian ideologist and the Ambedkarites fight among themselves, like who is actually good, who is actually the voice of Tamil Nadu. They have some difference between them. Do you have any word of suggestions or word of call for them?
Of course.
I'm sure you should have observed them already
Yes.
by the meantime.
2019 or the present time is a very specific time. Tamil Nadu is your fortress. Outside there are cannons and tanks of Hindustan ideology, imperial ideology. And between that is the wall of your state parties, from DMK to PMK to Ambedkarites to Periyarists to communists, whatever, the whole. This is not the time to discuss about the quality of the bricks that are making the wall. This is the only time to make the wall stronger and united. This is not the time. When the cannons are destroyed, we can talk about quality of the wall, quality of the bricks, but this is not the time. Everything has a time.
Do you have a fear that this frontier will be breached by any means?
No, but if you, in times of war, if you discuss other things, okay, it becomes tricky. If your house is on fire, it's not the time to discuss which room should have which color. You know, first save the house, you will have ample time to discuss interior decoration.
Would your voices be still the same if Congress comes to power? If at all Congress comes to power in the next election?
It's a question of policy. If Congress reverses NEET, does away with NEET, let Indian states have as much NEET as they want. They can take NEETs 365 days a year. I have no problem. Just that we do not want NEET even one day per year in our state.
In Bengal?
Yes. West Bengal has opposed NEET. Tamil Nadu has opposed NEET. Okay. Why should NEET be there? West Bengal people's blood and tears and sweat created these medical colleges. Okay. West Bengal people. Is it for CBSE people?
Was it not from the help from the center? Like it was from the central funds. It's not only from the funds.
That is true.
Okay.
But center gets his funds from above, from Kuber, gods. Center gets it from non-Hindi states. Grab some, give some to Hindi states. There we know the scheme. Okay. What central funds? If I take money from you, you earn 10 rupees. I take 6 rupees from you, and they give you back 3 rupees and say, take this gift. Is it a joke or what?
Assume, I may be wrong here, but let me place an example here. Assume that we are a family. Assume that you are the big brother. I am the little one. If I am being impoverished for a long time, is it not the duty of the big brother to help help with the one who is actually suffering?
Hmm?
Is it not the duty of the big brother who is well off to nullify the sufferings of the younger one? Can we
Two things. In
can,
such
can
a
we can we superimpose the same to the
to the
argument that you are making here?
first of all, it is in a family. It is out of the voluntariness of the big brother. Okay, because the center and the state does not have a parent-child relationship.
Okay.
It's a division of labor or a division of power. That's all.
Okay.
Okay. There is no dad who is taking from big brother and giving to small brother. Okay. Center is not father. Center is just another repository of certain powers. If you use the family analogy, first of all, it is big brother's voluntary goodness. It should be give. But if you see that little brother has employed one thief to cut big brother's pocket, okay, so that every time big brother on salary day comes and puts his wallet somewhere, this thief comes and takes some money, takes its own cut and gives some to little brother, then it's something very different going on, number one. And in any family where big brother subsidizes little brother, big brother has much more say than the little brother. Here the scenario is opposite.
Is it, are you saying in lieu with the 15th Finance Commission reports?
Of course, 15th Finance Commission report, and they even started it in 14th Finance Commission report. Okay, already some weightage has been given to 2011. Tamil Nadu and Bihar started from same population numbers just a few decades ago. Who stopped them to have the same kind of population control? Did Tamils go and tell them no, don't control? Is it Tamil people's problem? Is it Bengali people's problem? In West Bengal, we have the among the major states, we have the lowest TFR, okay, 1.6. Our institutions are built by our taxes, while now the proportion of new migrants is increasing every decade. New migration is not a problem, but as long as you assimilate, as long as you do not put a pressure on the pre-existing kind of public infrastructure system. So, if the Hindi belt cannot provide welfare to its people, it cannot simply outsource it to other states. It cannot be done. It's, you know, it's impossible. And remember, in 2026, another problem is coming up. After having done this, after having looted non-Hindi states for years, what Delhi wants to do is now even loot the number of seats we have. They will they want to even use 2011 to change the number of seats that will be allocated to every state.
2011, 19 or 11?
2026.
26, okay.
They'll use 2011, maybe 21 they will use, maybe the next census is coming up, I do not know. So, everybody, all non-Hindi people have to gear up for this major fight, you and I included. You may be a pressman, I may be a professor, but at the end of the day, we are sons and daughters of our respective non-Hindi states.
While still being part of the Indian Union?
Of course. We are bound by the constitution. We are the defenders of the constitution. Hindi imposers are anti-constitution. When somebody says Hindi is the national language, which nation are they talking about? Which means they are believing in an idea of a nation which does not exist in the Indian Union. They are separatists.
Nice to have you here, Cargo. It was really a pleasant interview, and it was really enlightening to know that you are having such love towards Tamil community and its rich long heritage.
I come to talk about the Tamil community because I care about my Bengali people. I am not here out of altruism, out of Tamil people. I am out of the interest of the Bengali people themselves.
Nice to know. Yeah. Thank you very much for spending a valuable time with us. Look forward to hear from you in future more. Thank you.
Same here. Namaskar.
Thank you.